My name is Claire Whitman. I'm 34 years old, and I didn't know my marriage was already over the night my husband said one sentence at our kitchen table and expected me to understand. Not really understand. Not fully. We'd been married for 5 years. 5 quiet, ordinary, hard-working years. The kind that don't look impressive on Instagram or Facebook. The kind that don't earn applause, but feel like something steady, something real when you're living them. The kind where love is measured in who shows up, not who posts. The kind where you measure happiness in routines, breakfast at 7, homework at 6, laundry on Sundays, soccer practice under floodlights, small dinners, weekend drives, stability, predictability, normalcy. Mark had a daughter from a previous marriage, Lily. She was 11 now, 6 when I met her. Small voice, serious eyes, always clutching a book or a soccer ball like armor. I never tried to replace her mother. I never thought I could, and I never wanted to, but I showed up, every day, every small moment. I showed up to parent-teacher conferences when Mark couldn't get off work, sat on cold bleachers during soccer practice, my fingers numb from the metal, learned which snacks she liked, which math problems made her cry, which nights she needed silence instead of questions. I packed lunches, checked homework, remembered school events, and paid for summer camp without keeping receipts. In my mind, there was no such thing as step. She was just my kid. Rachel, Mark's ex-wife, had been mostly absent when we first got together, or at least that's how Mark described it. Missed pickups, late child support, broken promises. She needs stability, he told me once, holding Lily's tiny hand in his. She deserves a real home. I believed him, and so I built one. For the first few years, things were simple, quiet, good. We bought a house. Well, I bought it. My name was on the deed. Mark had debt. That was fine. That was marriage, teamwork, compromise, love. But 8 months ago, Rachel changed. Suddenly, she was punctual, attentive, engaged. Mark was thrilled. "It's so good for Lily," he said. "She finally has her mother back." I didn't fight it. I didn't feel threatened. I believed love wasn't a competition. Biology didn't erase love. But something shifted. Handoffs that used to last 2 minutes stretched to 20, 30. Mark started dressing better on those days, laughing more, talking about Rachel casually, like she belonged in our conversations again, like she'd always been there. Her mom thinks private school might be good. Her mom and I talked about adjusting her schedule. Her mom agrees she needs more structure. Not my ex. Her mom. I told myself I was imagining it. I repeated the mantra in my head, trying to convince myself it didn't matter, that my devotion, my care, my investment in this family counted for something. Then came the holidays. We sat at the kitchen table, the calendar open between us, mugs of coffee cooling, untouched. "I need to talk to you about Christmas," Mark said, his voice careful, but there was something in it that made me pause. "Okay," I said. "Rachel really wants Lily this year, like, the whole thing, tree, presents, cooking together." I nodded slowly. "That's fine. She usually gets part of it anyway." He hesitated. "I think I should be there too." Something in my chest tightened. "At her house?" "She upgraded. Bigger place. It's good for Lily to have both her parents there." "Both." I waited, but the sentence hung in the air like smoke. "You can still go to your parents," he added quickly. "They'd understand." I stared at him. "So you want to spend 10 days with your ex-wife and your daughter while I go alone?" He frowned. "It's just for the holidays, for Lily to have time with her real family." There it was. The word landed like a fist to the chest. "Real family?" I repeated. "You know what I mean," he said, defensive already. "Her biological family." "And what am I?" "You're my wife," he said quickly. "This is different." Different. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cry. I stood up. "Okay," I said. He looked relieved, confused, grateful. I walked into my home office, closed the door, and sat at my desk, staring at the wall, finally seeing clearly exactly where I stood. I wasn't real family, and I stopped pretending that didn't matter. I didn't make the decision that night, not officially, but something inside me shifted, quiet, irreversible, irrevocable. I didn't cry. I didn't spiral. I sat for hours, hands folded, breathing slowly, as if bracing my body for the impact my mind had already accepted. I opened my laptop and pulled up an old email folder I hadn't touched in years, future opportunities. 3 years worth of messages sat inside it, same subject line, different dates, regional director position, relocation required. Every time, I had declined. Lily's school, Mark's job, the house, family obligations, I had stayed. Apparently not the real kind. I clicked the most recent email, 2 months old. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Then I typed. Is this position still available? My circumstances have changed. I hit send. The reply came within an hour. Absolutely. Can we schedule a call tomorrow? I scheduled it. Didn't tell Mark. The next day, while he was at work, I sat in my office on a video call. Corporate salary negotiations, leadership scope, relocation package, temporary housing, 30% raise, full moving assistance. They wanted me there by mid-January, 6 weeks. I asked for the offer in writing. They sent it that afternoon. I signed it the next morning. When I walked into the living room, Mark was wrapping gifts, Lily's gifts. He looked up and smiled like nothing had changed. Hey, he said, you good? I accepted the transfer, I said. The tape dispenser slipped from his hands, clattering to the floor. What? The regional director role, the one I've been declining. His face drained of color. When did you decide this? When you told me I wasn't real family. I never said that. You said Lily deserves time with her real family, you and Rachel. That's not what I meant. It's what you said. You're taking this out of context. I'm responding to reality. He stood abruptly. You're moving? Yes. Where? I told him. The state? Across the country? Yes. What about us? I looked around the house, my house, the routines I built, the place I apparently didn't belong. You're spending the holidays with your ex, I said calmly. You already decided. That's for my daughter, who I've raised for 5 years. He ran a hand through his hair. You're being spiteful. I'm being practical. He started crying. You're punishing me for trying to be a good father. I'm choosing myself for once. 2 days later, he left with Lily. 10 days before he went, he stood in the doorway with his suitcase. You're really not going to fight for this? He asked. For what? I said. A marriage where I don't count. He shook his head like I was being unreasonable. I'm not leaving you. You are, I said. You just don't want to call it that. He left. I watched Lily wave from the back seat. That part hurt. She didn't choose this. That afternoon, I called a real estate agent. The house was in my name. I told her I needed to sell fast. The sign went up the next day. That night, my phone buzzed. We made it. She's so happy to be here. I didn't reply. 10 minutes later, Rachel set up the guest room for us. It's really nice. I turned my phone face down. Everything was already in motion, and he still didn't understand there was no way back. The first night alone in the house felt unreal, like living inside a photograph of my own life. The lights were the same. The furniture hadn't moved. Lily's shoes were still by the door, the ones with the muddy soccer cleats I always reminded her to clean. But the energy was different, hollow. Not because Mark and Lily were gone. Because the illusion was gone. The illusion that I was central to this family, that I mattered in the same way they mattered to me. I packed slowly, calmly. Each box sealed felt like a sentence written in ink, a declaration. I choose me. By the 3rd day, the house got its first showing. By the 4th, an offer, full asking price, cash buyer, quick close. Your home is going to sell fast, my agent said. My home, that phrase landed differently now. That night, Mark called. I let it buzz for 3 full seconds before answering. Hello. His voice was strange, not angry, not pleading, off. Hey, he said carefully, how are you? Busy. Busy with what? Packing, finalizing the move. Silence, then softly. So you're really doing this? I told you I was. I thought you might change your mind. And the expectation in that sentence made my stomach turn. Why would I? Because we're married, he snapped. Because you love me. Because this is our life. You're at Rachel's house right now, I said. So tell me whose life this is. That's not fair. It's completely fair. More silence. I could hear Lily laughing faintly in the background. Then Mark spoke again, quieter. She's been really great. I closed my eyes. Who? Rachel. I waited. She's attentive, present. She's different than she used to be. Watching her with Lily, being here. He swallowed. It's bringing up feelings. The world went very still. I didn't speak, because I didn't trust my voice not to shake. I refused to give him that. You're calling me, I said slowly, from your ex-wife's house. During the holidays you chose over me, to tell me you're having feelings for her. I'm not trying to, he insisted. They're just there. And you thought I needed to know this right now? I don't want to lie to you, he said, as if that made him honorable. I let out a short breath, one that almost sounded like a laugh, but didn't. How considerate. Don't be like that, he pleaded. How should I be? I asked. Supportive, patient, quiet. I just need time, he said, his voice cracked in that familiar, pleading way, the one that had always made me want to reach across the table, lean in, and soothe him. Take all the time you need, I said, flat, careful, precise. I'll be in a different state. I hung up. Immediately, the phone buzzed again, and again, and again. I ignored it, kept taping boxes in the living room like my hands weren't attached to my body, like I wasn't human, just an automaton sealing cardboard flaps with clear tape. The next morning, I powered my phone back on. 22 missed calls, 37 texts. None of them were about Lily. None were even remotely about her well-being. They were about control. Please pick up. You're overreacting. This is childish. I'm your husband. You owe me a conversation. What are you doing to us? And then, one simple line. The house is listed. That one made me stop. Of course he had seen it. Mark always had alerts on our neighborhood. He liked to track the market. He'd said, always knew exactly how much equity was rising. How much listings were going for. It was his hobby, his quiet obsession. I texted one sentence. Yes, it's my house. I'm selling it. My phone rang instantly. I answered. You can't do that, he said, voice sharp. Panic layered underneath. You can't just kick us out. I'm not kicking you out, I said calmly. I'm selling my house and moving for work. You're welcome to find your own place. This is my home. It's my name on the deed. I reminded him. I bought it before we got married. That's not how marriage works, he said, like I had betrayed some unspoken law. Apparently, marriage doesn't work at all, I said, my voice calm but firm, based on where you're calling from. He inhaled sharply, as though I'd slapped him across the face. I can't afford a place alone, he said, suddenly bare, raw, honest, ugly. You should have thought of that before you told me I wasn't real family. I never said that, he shot back. You did, I said. You said Lily deserves time with her real family. You and Rachel, not me. Those were your exact words. Silence. Then, finally, his voice cracked. I didn't mean it like that. Yes, I said softly. You did. You just didn't think it would cost you anything. Then the sobs came. Full, racking. Unfiltered, tears cascading like currency he thought might buy me back. Please don't do this, he begged. We can fix this. I made a mistake coming here. What mistake? I asked, carefully, deliberately. Coming here, or telling me about your feelings? I'm confused, he admitted. I'm scared. I don't know what I'm doing. Here's the thing about people who are confused, they don't want clarity. They want options. I spoke slowly. Each word deliberate, like I was laying down terms in a contract. You finish your holiday there, you figure out what you actually want, and before I leave in January, you decide. Decide what? If you're coming with me, I said, or staying here. His breath caught. You want me to move across the country? I want you to choose, I said, for real. That's not fair. It's reality, I said, and you created it. Long silence. Heavy. Then, Like a final nail sliding into place. I can't leave Lily. I closed my eyes. I didn't ask if you could, I said. I asked what you wanted. It's the same thing, he snapped, panic rising. If I go with you, I'm leaving my daughter here. So you're choosing her over me, I said, voice almost gentle. I'm choosing to be a father, he said. And I'm choosing to be somewhere I'm valued, I said. There was nothing left to say. I ended the call. This time, I didn't turn my phone off. I wanted to see what he would do when begging didn't work. Over the next 3 days, I got a master class in manipulation. Anger, you're destroying our family. Guilt, how can you do this to Lily? She loves you. Bargaining, what if we do long distance for a year? Fear, I can't do this alone. I didn't answer. The silence, my silence, made him unravel. Then, 4 days before Christmas, my phone rang, unknown number. I answered. A woman's voice, sharp, unfamiliar, cut through the line. Hi, she said, this is Rachel, we need to talk. My fingers tightened around the phone. I didn't need to hear her say her name, I already knew. Do we? I asked, voice calm. A pause, the kind people take when they expect fear and don't get it. You're upsetting Mark, she said. He's a mess, crying, not sleeping, it's affecting Lily. My chest tightened. Of course it did. Your daughter? I asked. Yes, my daughter. The one I've raised for 5 years while you were inconsistent? I asked evenly. Her tone sharpened. I'm here now. Congratulations, I replied. You get to deal with the fallout. You don't have to do this, she said. You're being extreme. I'm moving for work, I said. That's it. You're abandoning them. I was erased first. Silence. I don't want drama, she said finally. But he's here. You're not. And he's confused. That sounds like a you problem, I said. She inhaled sharply. What am I supposed to do with him? I almost laughed. You wanted time with your real family, I said. You have it. Good luck. I hung up. That night, I was packing books in my office when I heard the front door open. No text. No call. Just the sound of a suitcase dragging across hardwood. I stepped into the hallway. Mark. His eyes red. His face older. Thinner. Like 4 days had aged him a year. We need to talk, he said. So talk. I left. He said quickly. I came home. I'm choosing you. I studied him. Is Lily here? I asked. No, he admitted. She's still with Rachel. So there it was. You didn't choose me, I said quietly. You hedged. That's not fair. If you chose me, I said, you would have come with your bags, your daughter, a plan. He broke down. I love you, he cried. I made a mistake. I don't want to lose you. Did something happen with her? I asked. He looked at the floor. Mark. She kissed me, he whispered. My stomach dropped, not because I was surprised, but because part of me had hoped I was wrong. When? 2 days ago, he said quickly. I pulled away. I told her I was married, and then, nothing. And you stayed, I said. 2 more days. I didn't know what to do, he said. I needed time. No, I said. You needed to see if it could work. He flinched. You tested the waters, I said, and when it got real, you ran back to me. That's not choosing, that's negotiating. I'm here now, he said desperately. Please, I want to fix this. Then come with me, I said. In January, fully, with Lily. He froze. I can't, he said. Then we're done. He stared at me like I'd just spoken a foreign language. I thought you'd fight, he said quietly. I did, I replied, for 5 years, alone. He stood there, tears streaming, silent. After 5 minutes, he picked up his suitcase and left again. That night, he went back to Rachel's house. He texted, I need more time. I replied, take it. My move date is January 10th. The holidays came and went. Alone, quiet, peaceful, takeout, old movies, the kind of silence that felt like freedom. My parents called, confused. I gave them the short version, work transfer, marriage ending. They didn't argue, Just love. Christmas morning. Mark texted, "Merry Christmas. I miss you." I didn't respond. 2 days later, he called. "I'm staying," he said. "With Lily?" I asked. I nodded. "Okay," he said. "That's it? You're not going to fight?" "No," I said. "I'm done waiting to be chosen." Silence. "So we're getting divorced," he said. "Looks like it." He cried. "I can't believe this is how it ends." "You decided how it ends," I said, "when you told me I wasn't real family." "I hate that phrase," he whispered. "You used it." Another pause. "I'm sorry," he said. "I know," I said. We hung up. For the first time in months, I slept through the night. 2 months later, in a bright new city, my apartment quiet, the divorce final, my career thriving, my life belonged to me for the first time. No arguments, no manipulation, no doubt about whether I mattered. The part that still hurt, the part one will always carry, was Lily. A letter arrived last week, careful handwriting, uneven but intentional. She said she missed me, didn't understand why I left, hoped I was happy. I cried. I wrote back, "Adults sometimes make decisions that are hard to explain, that she should be a kid, that I was proud of her. I may never see her again. That's the real loss." People ask if I regret it. Regret isn't in the new apartment, the promotion, the divorce. Regret is in losing the child I raised. But I don't regret choosing myself. For the first time, I did that. I did not wait. I did not accommodate. I did not fight for scraps of belonging. And it feels like life is finally mine,